This is 6 Minutes, the seriously international daily newscast. It's Wednesday, May the 7th. I'm Anne-Sophie Goninet.
And I'm Jacob Shropshire. It's evening in a rainy Hong Kong while the sun is just coming up over the Dominican Republic. Here in the World Crunch newsroom in Paris, it's cool and cloudy and just after midday. These are the latest headlines. Russia launches a deadly drone strike on Kyiv just before its ceasefire. Israel strikes a school in Gaza, killing 13. And our daily quiz question comes from an animal's strange habit. The top story today is the sudden deadly escalation in the conflict between India and Pakistan. India launched missiles early Wednesday into Pakistan, and Pakistan administered Kashmir, with the Pakistani military saying it had shot down 5 Indian Air Force jets and a drone in self-defense. Islamabad said that the attack, which New Delhi claimed targeted terrorist infrastructure, killed at least 26 civilians. The military escalation between the nuclear powers comes after an attack in India-administered Kashmir last month, which India blamed on Pakistan. Israeli airstrikes on a school in Gaza housing displaced families killed 13 on Wednesday, just a day after similar airstrikes on a different school killed 29. An overnight Russian missile and drone strike on Kyiv killed 2, a mother and a son, just hours before a Moscow-led 3-day ceasefire is set to start later today. Ukraine also launched a drone attack on Moscow ahead of celebrations for the 80-year anniversary of the end of World War II, which will also start a 4-day state visit by Chinese President Xi Jinping. Our More Than a Minute feature today also focuses on Russia's war in Ukraine, but on another less visible battle, not on the ground nor in the skies, but under the sea. Anne-Sophie, tell us more.
In the Baltic Sea, the real war is what you cannot see, writes Hamburg-based Zeit. For Germans, the Baltic used to mean vacation, a place associated with beach chairs, ice cream, and sunburn. But ever since Russia invaded Ukraine, it has become something very different. The 400,000 square kilometer sea is now an area of rising tension, the stage for hybrid conflict that could flare up at any time.
Why is this area so important?
From a strategic point of view, the Baltic Sea is a potential battlefield, and a conflict here would spell disaster for both sides. The coastal states around the Baltic account for over 10% of world trade. There are also communication lines, power cables, and pipelines crisscrossing the seabed. And these critical systems are largely unprotected, easy targets for sabotage. But the Baltic Sea is also particularly vital for Russia. The open route across the North Sea to the Atlantic remains one of its key links to the outside world. After Putin's invasion of Ukraine, the West tried to choke Russia's raw material exports by slapping a cap on Russian oil and barring ships carrying overpriced oil from Western insurance. But the Kremlin adapted. Russia assembled a shadow fleet, snapping up around 400 oil tankers worldwide. The issue for NATO is that these ghost tankers have other missions than just carrying Russia's crude oil. They pull risky maneuvers, stray from shipping lanes, and often show up near a broken submarine cable.
So what can the West do to counter this quote-unquote shadow fleet?
The sea has its own rules, and those rules make it nearly impossible for Western democracies to crack down on Russia's shadow fleet. We can do little more than watch sabotage happen, one international law professor tells Zeit. Whoever masterminded this shadow fleet knew exactly what they were doing. But the West isn't completely powerless. A tanker carrying nearly 100,000 tons of contraband Russian oil and running adrift was towed into German territorial waters and then seized, not with commandos, but with a legal order. This was a blow to Putin. No Baltic country had ever moved this decisively against the shadow fleet. The tanker's fate and its cargo won't be decided by soldiers, but by judges.
Turning to other news, we have 2 stories in one referenced on the front page today of Italian daily Il Riformista. The newspaper features a photo of Germany's Friedrich Merz with the headline Fumata Nera, that's Italian for gray smoke. It's a wink at the conclave to elect a new pope, which begins today at the Vatican. But Merz's arrival yesterday as German Chancellor was not the white smoke coronation he'd expected. The 69-year-old Conservative was elected in the afternoon, but only after a morning vote yesterday in Parliament fell short of the necessary majority. The surprise, temporary betrayal by his center-left allies does not bode well for the stability of his coalition. Merz's first full day as Chancellor includes visits today to Paris and Warsaw. We're closing things out today with our daily quiz question, which comes to us from the animal kingdom. Researchers in New Zealand caught on video a local animal doing something never seen before. What did the researchers get on film? Is it A, a kiwi bird building a nest from rocks? B, a snail laying an egg out of its neck? C, a dolphin giving birth to twins? Or D, a penguin playing rugby? The correct answer is B. A rare carnivorous snail called the Polyphanta augusta snail was recorded laying an egg for the first time through its neck. The video, the first ever of this species, was taken by conservationists who have been keeping a population of the highly endangered snails alive for nearly 2 decades.
That's the latest from around the world. If you like this podcast, we'd really appreciate it if you could help us out with a follow, share, and a 5-star rating on your preferred podcasting platform. For more of the best of the international press delivered exclusively in English, visit us at worldcrunch.com. We'll see you here tomorrow. À demain.